Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get into the video, I'd like to just say that I am sorry that I had to postpone yesterday's live video. My last surviving aunt ever was in hospice yesterday, and she passed away. And me and my cousins all ran to the hospice center to be with her. So she's at peace. She's with the rest of the family. We're sure of that. And, I just really did want to apologize for that. But I will be doing another live later on today. But first of all, I just wanted to go through a list of things that I make instead of buy. And the reason I want to do this is I cannot drive home this point enough that anytime you walk into a store, you are handing them corporate and all the in-between supply chain and all the overhead. You're paying for that, and you are handing them money that you earned, that some of it could be used to further your grocery list and household items that you need for you and your family. So I compiled a list of 10 items that I make instead of buying. So we're going to start with number one. This is the very first thing that I started doing, I think, and it was breadcrumbs. Now, we all have ends of bread or, little bits here and there that doesn't get eaten up. It's very easy to just put it in a bag, throw it in your freezer, and when you have enough, lay it all out on a cookie sheet, toast it in the oven until it's completely dry on both sides. It has to be really dry. And you can break it up. You can put it in a blender and just blend it up and put it in a glass jar, or I don't really use plastic containers, but you could, or any kind of empty jar, and you will have breadcrumbs. You can season them the way you want. If you do not have a blender, you could put, I would say, wax paper in between a layer of bread, in between two sheets of wax paper or plastic wrap or something, and just get a rolling pin and roll it back and forth until it's really crumbly. So, if you don't have a blender, there's still a way to make some breadcrumbs. I did find that there's a lot less salt in it, only the salt that's in the bread. And breadcrumbs are like $3. And to me, that $3 is a dozen of eggs now. So I would rather put that money somewhere else. The other thing I make is salad dressing. Now, I basically grew up with oil and vinegar on our salad. That, I think in the 60s and 70s, that's what we had. My mother always seasoned it. She would season the salad and then toss the oil and vinegar before we ate dinner. And she would put a little bit of salt and pepper, some oregano, sometimes some garlic powder, onion powder, and the oil and vinegar, and it always came out good. Okay, so I never really grew up with salad dressings until I got a lot older, and everybody started buying all the different flavors, and they were pretty good. Now, I confess, last week Shaw's had Ken's salad dressing, which I haven't had in about 10 years, for $1.88. And I really was getting bored with the oil and vinegar. So I bought 5. But it's going to probably last me 10 years. But I do like the different flavors and everything, and I do want to get some good recipes to make my own salad dressings. I don't know if I'm going to hang on to these. I might donate them. I'm not sure. I just don't like the fact that there's high fructose corn syrup in everything. And so I don't know. I like my salad. I do have a recipe for a great ranch dressing. So I just want to get some more recipes so that I can make some more dressings and hopefully use this up or donate it or give it to my daughter or something and see what happens, But I am guilty of that. This week I did go buy salad dressings. Number 3 is marinades. I like to put together my own marinades. I have not conquered barbecue sauce yet, but that's on my list of things to make instead of buying. But my marinades are usually like olive oil with lemon and lemon juice and dill and herbs and garlic. And sometimes I use balsamic vinegar for different chicken dishes. I do like to, when I'm packing up meat to freeze and I'm putting it in freezer bags, I like to fill the bag up with marinade, throw the chicken in there or whatever it is, and get the air out and seal it up. It marinates while it's freezing. It marinates again when it's thawing out, and it saves a lot of time. So marinades is not something I really buy. I can't remember the last time I bought marinade. Now, I'm not going to make my own soy sauce, and I'm not going to make my own sweet and sour sauce because the ingredients it's going to take to make sweet and sour sauce, if I'm making like Chinese food, like sweet and sour chicken or something like that, the amount of ingredients and time and energy and everything else, for how often I have it, I think $2 for a jar isn't bad. I will just buy that. The other thing that I make instead of buy are my pastries, my cookies, my desserts. I like to make pound cakes, different kinds of breads and cakes, chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter cookies, oatmeal cookies. The holidays, I make a lot of the Italian cookies. Sometimes I just want, you just want a quick dessert. There's always pudding and Jell-O. I do not make my own pudding from scratch, but a friend sent me a recipe. So I will be learning how to make my own pudding from scratch. I heard it's a lot better. So I also, instead of buying shortcuts and things, I cook every meal from scratch. Now, sometimes, yes, I have canned vegetables or something that I want to use up. Time restraints will probe me to use canned vegetables, or if I'm out of fresh, I will use the can. But for the most part, every single thing I cook is from scratch. So that's another way. No prepackaged meals, no meal starter kits, no salad kits, nothing like that. I do it all myself. Another thing, you guys know that I love my oatmeal in the morning, okay? I found that it is cheaper and healthier to buy a big can of Quick Oats versus the packets of oatmeal. I buy it plain, and I can add whatever I want to it. It's very versatile. I can make cookies with it. I can make granola with it. I can make granola bars with it. It really is very versatile. It's a lot, like a fraction of the cost, and it has no sodium. And I've discovered this when my father was on a low sodium diet about 6 years ago. He loved his instant oatmeal, and my mom did too, but they had to watch their salt. So I would read labels, and the salt that is in different items is just, I don't understand it, why there's no sodium in the Quick Oats, which is the exact same thing as in the packet, but the packets have sodium in it. So I don't know if it's because those packets are going to preserve it or I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. But I know that there is no sodium in a canister of Quick Oats. There is sodium in each packet of oatmeal. Okay? Yogurt. I don't make my own yogurt, although in the Middle East, it's customary for everyone to make their own yogurt, which is called madzun. I never did that, but I found that when they started putting that fake fruit in it and coloring it with bugs and different stuff like about 10 years ago, I was like, no, I'm going to buy the plain, fat-free Greek yogurt. I buy 32 ounces for about $3 and change at Aldi's, maybe a little cheaper. And I use that for a lot of things. I make tzatziki with it. I make Jaji cucumber salad with it. I have it with my own fruit, fresh fruit. There's a lot of things that you can do with that it just makes it so much cheaper to just buy the big one. It's healthier. You can sweeten it the way you want. You can add cinnamon to it. You can add your fruit. It's just very, very versatile, and that's what I do with yogurt. I do not buy individual cups of yogurt with fake fruits and colorings and additives to it. That's not the purpose of yogurt, okay? That's taking away the benefits of the yogurt of the culture. So I won't do that. Another thing is it's a non-food item, but I use rags most times instead of paper towel. My paper towel usually gets saved for extremely messy things, or if I'm, like I washed out my bathroom sink and the toilet and everything, not inside the toilet with a paper towel, but, you know, the outside of the tank and the handle and things like that, and then I just throw it away. I also use paper towel when I wash my bathroom floor. I wash it on my hands and knees. I have Lysol that I dilute in a spray bottle, and that's what I use to wash my bathroom floor. So I don't buy a lot of paper towel, although I do like to have it. It comes in handy because sometimes you just have a real mess, and it's easier than dirtying a bunch of rags. Then you got to wash the rags. So I do use rags, or little, we call them little moppings. I keep them under my sink in the kitchen all together, and there's always clean rags there that I could use to wipe down counters and the stove and clean and windows and things like that. Another thing that I make instead of buying is my burger patties. I don't like the burger patties that are already formed, whether they are fresh in the meat department or they are frozen. There's various brands out there. They're very expensive compared to making them yourself. They have absolutely no flavor. I like to season my hamburger patties. I have a recipe for it, so I think maybe one of these days I'll do some burgers. And my granddaughters call them Mimi burgers because they love them, and nobody makes them like Mimi, according to the girls. So I make my own burgers. I do use cloth napkins versus paper napkins or disposable napkins. I learned how to sew. I taught myself how to sew. And the first thing I started doing was paper cloth napkins. They are square, and it was very easy. I learned a lot of good sewing skills. I learned measuring and hems and seam ripping and, just everything that you needed to learn. So I taught myself how to sew. I make the cloth napkins. I make a ton of them. And I just find that they're very nice, and you don't need a million paper napkins, even though I bought like the expensive ones, like the Bounty ones. But that's money in my pocket. I have a lot of them, so I can just throw them in when I do laundry for laundry day. But a lot of times I will just fill a dish pan up in the kitchen sink with some Dawn, some baking soda, some hot water. I let them soak in there, and then I wash them out, and I can hang them out to dry. Or I just lay them on a towel on the kitchen table, and they dry in no time. So I really enjoy my cloth napkins, and I like to make them for all different occasions. So it makes it, every occasion is a little festive. So that's fun. I like doing that. The other thing I do, but I haven't done it as much, and I need to, is make my own bread. Bread is getting expensive. It's molding very quickly. I don't like the ingredients that are in it. So I do have a couple of recipes for breads and rolls and things like that. I have a bonus item here. Number 12 is my own pizza. My father had left us a wonderful pizza dough recipe, and nobody made pizza like my papa. And that side of the family, they were just all the men were just fantastic Italian cooks, and I have mastered his pizza recipe down to a T. I mean, when we had any kind of gathering or occasion, if they knew my father was making his pizza, they'd be lined up at the door. And I finally decided, you know what, I'm gonna stop the mourning and the grieving, and I'm gonna make Dad's pizza. And I started making it last year, and it came out really good. And I used the same dough for calzone, and it's a basic recipe. You could even use it, make Italian bread with it. So that's a very versatile recipe. So these are things that I prefer to make instead of buy, because I think that my money is very valuable, and I am not going to dish out one extra penny if I don't have to. Another reason I started doing all this was when I was caring for my mom. There was no one else to stay with her if I needed to run to the store for something. So I always had a good stockpile of stuff. And I guess a little boredom set in, just being in the house all the time. So I would make a lot of things from scratch, and to me it was a fun, and it was a challenge. And oh wow, look, I made my own breadcrumbs. That was the first thing I ever made from scratch. Oh, and croutons. It's basically the same method, but it was so much fun. Mom wanted croutons in a salad. Well, I didn't have any. No problem, Mom, I'll make them. She goes, "What do you mean you're gonna make them?" Yeah, I'm gonna make them. And she liked them better. They're a lot less crunchy, and they're really good. So don't be afraid to venture out and try making one new thing every here now and again. You'll be thrilled. You'll be thrilled with the results and the fact that you saved some money. Folks, please leave a comment below. Let me know if you started making anything instead of buying it. I'm interested to see what other people are doing. You might jog my brain and give me some ideas. Please, if you like this video, smash the like button, and don't forget to smash the subscribe. I love you guys. I'll catch you on my next video.